Good afternoon. My name is Tommy Diaz. I'm the Assistant Chief at the Harris County Sheriff's Office. To my left is Major Jesse Razzo over the Homeland Security Bureau. To my right is Major John Nanny over the Patrol Bureau. To his right is Major Saul Suarez. He is the Criminal Investigation Bureau Major. And to his right is Lieutenant Adam Lightfoot. He is the Watch Commander for District 4 out west in the Katy area on day shift. So this morning, about 8 o'clock this morning, we received a call for service from a citizen who's claiming a terroristic threat, which that means is somebody is threatening somebody else's life. Our deputies make the scene. At that point, we learn that an ex-husband is threatening his ex-wife's life. He displayed a weapon. He told her he threatened her life. In addition to that, he claimed that he wasn't going back to jail and he'd have to be killed. Our deputies make the scene. The suspect had already left the scene. Our deputies searched the area for the suspect vehicle. We located that vehicle in a retail parking lot about a mile away from here. We approached we initiated a traffic stop. We approached the vehicle. The suspect evaded. At that point, he also displayed a weapon, and our deputies pursued the vehicle to here at West Green and I-10. West Green and I-10, 13,000 block of West Green. The deputy crashed out into a water main. Our deputies established a perimeter, attempted to establish communications. At that particular time, he displayed a weapon again, pointed at deputies. Original deputies discharged firearm. One deputy discharged his firearm. We established a perimeter. We requested our tactical team to the scene. They arrived. At that point, we were still attempting to establish communications. He refused to talk to us. He was threatening, yelling obscenities and things of that nature. Then he displayed a weapon, pointed it again at our deputies, who discharged again. At no point was the suspect shot, and at no point were deputies injured. So what you're going to see now is a lot of investigators on scene from the homicide unit. They'll lead the criminal investigation. You'll see investigators from the Office of Inspector General. They'll review the shooting and check for any policy violations. You'll also see folks from the DA's office, because at the end of the investigation, this will be presented to the District Attorney's office to assess what our deputies' actions. In addition to that, we're required by state law to submit any officer-involved shooting documentation to the Texas Attorney General, so we'll be doing that as well.
Where's the suspect right now?
The suspect's currently in custody. We have him in custody. He did, at a certain point, make a decision, and a wise decision, to get out of the vehicle and turn himself in.
How long did that take?
It took 20 minutes from the moment that the pursuit ended until he finally
Was there anyone else in the vehicle with him?
No, sir. There was no one else in the vehicle.
Do you know what kind of firearm?
It was a semi-automatic pistol.
And what about the ex-wife who's said that she was being threatened? Was she hurt at all?
No, sir. We're very fortunate that she was not injured. We're very fortunate that the deputies were able to get there quickly. This has been an ongoing issue with this particular suspect and his ex-wife. And so we'd actually been to that address a few times, and we had filed terroristic threat from the night before as well. So we responded out there last night, did a completed investigation, and submitted that information to the DA's office, who accepted charges of terroristic threat from last night. So the suspect actually had an open warrant today from an investigation we did yesterday.
Was there something, an arson-related incident on Sunday with the suspect?
That's an ongoing investigation. The Fire Marshal Office would be primary on those types of investigations. We are communicating with them because we're getting some information that there might have been a threat of arson or an attempted arson.
Was there any restraining order that you know of against him between the two?
No, ma'am, not at this point. I'm not aware of that. But traditionally, what will happen in these types of situations, we'll do a magistrate's order of emergency protection, which is valid for 2 years. But I don't know that off the top of my head.
And how was she? Was she hurt in any of that?
No, she's not hurt. We're very fortunate. And, as all of you know, this past weekend was very busy on unincorporated Harris County. We had a couple of murders that were family disturbances that turned into murders. So that's one of the primary drivers of murders. And so we're very, very fortunate and thankful that this ended with everyone being able to either go home safely or being in custody safely.
So why was there no further action taken against the suspect, even though there was a terroristic threat?
So what will happen in state law, we're required to file charges on these type of things. So we interfaced with the district attorney's office, who accepted those charges which is we're thankful that they did, because that gives us a little more teeth when we go to look for the suspect. At that particular time, we did have a warrants units in the area looking for him, so it wasn't that we didn't do anything. It was just we had to locate him, and so, fortunately this morning we were able to find him not too far from here.
So I guess just to clarify, so like why wasn't he taken into custody?
Well, we didn't have him. He wasn't on scene.
Okay.
Apologize
Right,
for that.
Just want to make sure.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When was the warrant put out for his arrest?
I couldn't tell you the exact time, but it was last night on night shift, so which would be between 10 p. and 6 a.m. So that it was walked through, which means we expedited it.
Will you talk about, you just mentioned it before, how a number of your homicides are domestic violence
Yes,
related.
ma'am.
I think at a certain point, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez said something about like 2/3 or something like that. Will you talk a little bit about any statistics you can give us or any numbers about domestic violence related?
Yes, ma'am. So the three primary drivers for crime in in Harris County, from Baytown to Katy, anywhere in there, is going to be one of the primary drivers is domestic violence. And that doesn't mean just intimate partner violence. It could be brothers and brothers or fathers and sons. And so in this, it's about 1/3 of our murders in unincorporated Harris County are related to some sort of family violence. So in addition to that, it's one of our primary calls for service that we respond to. So they're increasingly difficult because we have to spend time on the scene to investigate, find out, is there any additional evidence, are there any witnesses? Sometimes it's only a complainant and a suspect that we have two different sides of the story. So we communicate regularly with the district attorney's office, and we get their guidance on these cases, and then we send them over to our investigators who follow up. It is a very difficult problem to address, but we're working with our partners, whether at the Houston Area Women's Center or the district attorney's office or through some of the commissioners, especially out here. Commissioner Leslie Baronis been a very big advocate for finding new solutions for domestic violence.
Can you give us an age for the suspect?
Yes, ma'am. The age of the suspect is 59 years old.
And how far away was the ex-wife or the other location where this started from here?
Adam, do you know about how far it was?
It's about a 3-minute pursuit, so I'd say.
But from the original scene from last time?
Approximately 2 miles.
2 miles away. It's all very good.
And
Did you say that a deputy had hit a water main, or was that the suspect?
The suspect crashed into a water main, and it did affect 2 businesses. So we've already notified the MUD out here, the Municipal Utility District. So they're en route to come fix that and get these businesses back in service.
Some businesses said that they heard like 10 to 15 shots. Is that the exchange of gunfire between?
Yes, there was 2 episodes where shots were fired. There was 1 deputy. The second time there was 3 deputies.
Okay.
And they had body-worn camera, and so that'll be reviewed as we conduct the investigation.
The suspect ever discharged his weapon?
I can't claim that he did. I don't know that he did. We know that he did point it, is the information I have. So as we do the investigation, we'll see if there are any discharged shell casings, in the vehicle and things like that.
How many shots, did you say around were fired?
Oh, I multiple people shot, so I don't want to say we shot X amount when it could be Y later.
You referenced that he said that he was not going back to jail. Do you know anything about his history?
No, I don't know. That's just what the reportee told us, and we're conducting that to see a little bit more background information on him. But it all stems from a domestic disturbance. So sometimes these are volatile. When someone's trying to leave a relationship, it escalates. So it's not always that this person had a criminal history. Any other questions? Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank